The Daytona 500, one of the biggest sim racing events, crown jewel of NASCAR, a race I've always dreamt of winning. This is my attempt of fulfilling that dream. Not a great qualifying attempt to the race, starting P18, 8th on the outside row. Mid split 7 of 18.
Remember, if you're going to pit too under green, like let
we
people
come
know.
to the green flag. My one thought is to just make it to the end of the race, save as much fuel as I can, and limit the incident points that I get. So the green flag drops and we are underway. 2026 iRacing Daytona 500. This was my second attempt at doing the race. I tried one the night before actually, and I got a
in front of me
unsafe pit entry penalty.
Be careful here, guys.
Late in the race that screwed me over. And that's the scary part about these races is you get into a crash and you slid, into pit road, not following the safety protocols, and you get a 40-second stop and hold penalty. So we take a look at kind of my throttle input. You can see just early on in the race, I'm not at full throttle at all. This is just part of the fuel saving strategies. I'm between 50 and 75% throttle for much of the lap. For actually all of the lap, not just some of it. We go into lap 40, pit stops begin. These are the first people to pit. See just 3 cars coming in, and big lockup and a half spin as he disappears. See, the pink car will reappear, but as far as I know, the green car never reappeared.
Yep,
and we'll cut to lap 43, which is when I pit.
35 pitting in.
Car number, as I just said, car number 35 of 37 for the split. Good pit entry. Car ahead of me, really late on the brakes. And we make up one spot. So we'll try and turn into my pit box here. And I get caught up a little bit. You can't really see it from this angle, but I'm going to overshoot my box. Looking from the rear chase, you can see I just tap the 8, and I steer back to the right.
I got to pit this next round.
An onboard look. I steer back to the right because I'd rather overshoot my box and lose some time rather than pit myself. Which, would give me damage and then probably make me lose a lap as I have to turn around.
Probably going to the far inside wall.
See some people talking over the radio. I forgot to turn it off until about halfway through recording the race, and I was too lazy to go back and re-record it.
Good job, guys.
But it's a problem that will go away. See, I'm from that pit stop. I'm all alone. I think it's lap 44, and then by lap. Oh, actually, take a look at someone who spins. Excuse me, on exit. There's actually 2 of them. I thought this would bring out a caution, but surprisingly, it won't bring out a caution. It's 14. Wow, almost takes out that guy on the high side. I think that's a 22 car. See, just a little bit too aggressive, and wow. It could not have gone any closer. So by lap 48, we'll hook up with the 21 and the 29 and a draft on our own.
Do you have any damage?
Crashing.
We are compassion.
Miracle happens and there's a crash, and it's actually a bunch of lap cars who crash right in front of the field. 15 and 20. This is going to save us because otherwise we would have gone probably a lap down within the next 10 to 15 laps. We were running about a second to a second and a half off pace from the main pack. So we'll go back green starting on the inside lane. I think I did go in. This is lap 64. The crash happened probably on lap 62 or so. I didn't write it down on my notes, but restarting 22nd. Oh, sorry. Crash did happen on lap 64. Went back to green on lap 68, so I got that wrong. We will cut all the way to lap 109, where you see a lot of people are pitting, and because I was in the back, I decided to stay out for a couple more laps. There's just a huge pack of cars coming in. I thought for sure that there would be a wreck. So we'll take another replay, looking at second place, and there's no contact from anyone. Everyone gets in cleanly. Oh, except the 22 car. He hits the pit entry wall on the inside. So we'll take an onboard shot of it. He's looking good so far. And then he just locks up the rear and into the wall. Someone hits him in the back. If this would end his race, he would retire from it. We go to lap 111. I'm going to pit with the 34. And the 34 is going to be a main character in this race. We worked together throughout it, really, from this point onward, where we were able to extend our pit stops. But actually, as we don't pit, it's just that one guy who pits. That was lap 110. And then on lap 111.
Push. I'm trying to get to you, man.
As he tells me to give him a push, and I am full throttle at this point. I'm trying to get up to him. You know, this was the fixed setup race, and these fixed setup races, the fixed setup just isn't great. You can't really hang on to people. But we'll take a dive into the pits this time on my onboard. You can hear I just lift off slightly there because I don't want to be on the 34's ass going into pit road, but I'm super late on the brakes. And this is actually going to allow me to lead a lap, my one and only lap led of this race. Spoiler alert. As the 34 has a huge lockup, and it's the 34, 35, and 36. We are all pitting together. We're going to end up working together. Once we exit, as I hit my marks this time, that will be a something to watch out for. Is I miss my pit box quite a bit. Taking left side tires only. The left sides wore quite a bit this race. The right sides didn't really wear. That's pretty abnormal. As the 36 and 34 get out ahead of me, so they were a lot more aggressive on coming into their boxes. You can see the leaders who have pitted a couple laps previously in the background, and they're going to fly by us on pit exit. We're going to come out in about P12 once we get reintegrated. You can hear a second pack, and now you can see them, the second pack of cars coming up. Man, I love those flybys on the wall. They just sound so good. I'm taking quite a long look at this lap. It's really showing how the pack can reintegrate. At this point, I'm still thinking about saving fuel. We have to make at least one more pit stop before the end of the race, you know, depending on cautions, which there are plenty more to come. Don't you worry. But being the fifth car in line on the bottom, it is not my responsibility to push. That will only create instability, especially if there's a small bobble from the 8 cars. He hits the apron. It'll just create instability for the 34, especially if there's a stack up. We cut to lap 116. We have caught the front group by all going single file. Now it is just one giant pack racing together. So I set up this camera angle after the race, and it's just so great for flybys. Listen to this. Music to my ears. We get another one there, cut a little bit short. We're going to say single file all the way until the next caution. And this is on lap 137. It's just a bit of filler content. So we overtake this lap car. And I'm not sure what happened to myself here. I got a little bit off the 34. Not sure if I was messing with my music or... I believe at this point I was in a Discord call with friends. So maybe I just got distracted by that conversation, wasn't paying attention, and just got gapped. And here, I'm messaging with the 34 on when we should pit next time. He's trying to get me to go lap 158, but I'm trying to tell him that I can only go lap 157, and that makes me really not pay attention to the cars in front of me, and the 8 gets around me. So we're now on lap 153. The leaders pit, and on my notes, it says to check what position I was, and I did not do that, so I have no idea where I'm at. Towards the back of the pack, so probably top 20. or probably not top 20, right outside the top 20. So, you know, a few more cars pit, so try and pan to them. Both of these guys lock up, kind of both half spin, and this is going to lose them a lot of time. And just a single car pits. Number 19 pits all by himself. Or no, he doesn't pit. He has 4 others go with him. Go 4 wide into pit road. Not sure how they all made it through their cleaning lead. They're not going to turn each other either. Hit the lap 157. A bit of an editing mistake on my part there. I believe the 34 and I are going to pit here, so you can hear myself lift off again. Very similar to the last pit stop. We're going to come in, and I ducked way low because I have a pit box that is, I guess, more in front, you know, sooner than the 34, as he also has another big lockup coming into pit road. But that won't matter because he's going to replace tires, and I'm going to replace my left sides again. Getting hit my marks. We'll take an onboard view. A little bit of wheel spin here. Again, he gets ahead of us on pit exit. He makes up some ground. So really, I was taking my entry to my box way too passively. We'll take a look up the back of my car. You can hear my throttle application as the leaders are going to roll on by us. At this point, the 34 and I, we are good on fuel. We can just about make it to the end if we really fuel save, or even if we do have to pit, we just have to add in like a couple of gallons less than the other guys. But the caution is going to come out, as I believe we have wrecking in the back. We'll go and take a look at it. On board the 36 here, and he just loses it on his own, hits the apron, and up into the wall, collects someone else, and then we're gonna have another guy spin out on the apron, avoiding the 36. He's gonna do a great job keeping it off the fence here. Yeah, he just avoids the wreck, gets on the apron, the rear, and steps out, fighting the car to save it. He's gonna do a sick 180 flick to rewrite himself. A great wreck avoidance. We go back onto pit road. I overshoot my box, have to back up. You see, immediately, just after 2 or 3 seconds, my pit crew tells me to go again. That is because I forgot to manually add more fuel. iRacing has an automatic fuel calculator, and it said that I was good to the end, just barely. Coming into the stop, I was more worried about unchecking my windshield tear off, which adds about a second to the pit stop, and I forgot to add a gallon or so of fuel, so you can hear me lifting off, you know, riding that clutch as we're going to go back green on lap 162, not 149 to go, with 39 laps to go. I'll probably fix that after I do this voiceover, so it might be correct on screen. Try and flip through my notes. Two blown cars, something to do with my graphics setting, and the paint finish of those cars that just make them look like they are just a ball of light. We'll get another flyby. Not as good as the first one, but still music to my ears. See, I'm now leading the front pack. This is actually the same lap of the flyby. The 3 guys in front, they pushed away from the second lane, the top lane, down in front of the leader of the bottom lane, and just hung me out to dry, as rightfully should have. And while I like leading a lane, I'm not liking it for my fuel. You know, I was, since I didn't add that fuel at the pit stop that I should have, I was really cutting it close. I needed the fuel save, and riding up at the front, I'm just flat out, you know, I'm not lifting off at all. I mean, you can hear that in my engine. You know, further in the back, those guys at the very back, they're going to be lifting off. Take a look at the back. Oh man, that car there almost causes a crash. And the 34, he comes up, as he has to back onto the racing line, and this is going to cost us 17 to get hung out to dry. Because that's the 13. I'm not sure if I said a car number, but that is the number 13. He's kind of a menace this race. As he almost causes another wreck right there. Cut forward to lap 167, and the 13 is going to cause a crash, and it's a big one. Tearing up a lot of good race cars. Oh, I don't know. Is that the 16? The 16, that white car just came bowling in. Take a look on the 20. Yeah, the 25 behind the 13. I mean, he just loses it on his own. Take a look on board someone else who's behind the crash. I mean, great wreck avoidance right there. Barely, ass packing that guy. Going to lap 171, coming to 30 to go. I'm restarting 8th here. And this is the one advantage of leading the outside lane, is that I'm starting up towards the front of the pack. Not a lot of laps to go. Take an onboard look of what a restart looks like. Yeah, I tried to duck low right there. It just wasn't totally clear. Probably was clear just a little bit, but with net code, and I didn't know if he was going to get a run at the last second. I didn't want to turn myself across him and just throw away my race. So I'd rather just stay on the high side, maybe lose a couple of positions. And you could see, I know I said earlier in the video that as a 5th car in line, it wasn't my responsibility to push, but on a restart, up towards the front, you need to push the guy in front of you. Especially with, as little laps possible, as I'm now only 3rd in line, so it is my responsibility to push. We're taking this look. I mean, we are just 2 by 2 by 2 throughout the entire pack. Someone's coming out of the pits in the background. And then the 33 comes up and just moves the 34 out of the way. Take an onboard look, and I mean, it was a fair move on the 33. I think overreaction on the 34. It was quite aggressive. But the 33 is going to look for a move on us and on a hole that's just not there. And just those little bumps gets my car a little bit tight. I wash up wide, and he is just going to force his way under me. We'll take an onboard look at me as I drop from 11th all the way back to 21st, and this is on lap 174. We only have 27 laps to go. It's going to be quite difficult for me to regain all those spots with not a lot of time left, especially at a track like Daytona. You get pretty much gridlocked. It's just 2 by 2 by 2, and you can't go anywhere. You can't go high, you can't go low. See, I'll slot in at the bottom. I'm praying for a big wreck at this point. See, and then the 9 ousts the 23, I believe. I believe that's the 23. That red car. And then we're going to go on board the 33 again as he ousts the 9. So he's just moving everyone out of the way. Not giving a fuck. Which, is somewhat good to do, as the 36 loses it on his own. Saw that earlier, and this is just another big pile up. Everyone getting collected. You can see our friend the 34 is in it, sliding down the racetrack there, getting tagged again. And you can just see me in the background. We'll go on board, and he just loses it. He didn't get tapped by the 26. Not sure what he was thinking, but I don't know what happened, just lost the air. So we'll go on board with me as I see this happening. I can see the smoke and immediately off the throttle, and right here I'm on the brake. I can see it's going to be a track blocker. I'm already at the back. Let's just not tear my car up. So the 32 does the same thing. We both hit the brakes, almost coming to a complete standstill. Moving by a couple of dead cars on the racetrack. We get away unscathed there. Now we cut to lap 187 with 17 to go. They're wrecking in the background. I don't know what was going on in this restart. I looked at a couple of replays. I think that one guy that we saw peeling into pit lane had a penalty to serve. And I just kind of messed everyone up, but they're still on the freaking wreck there. This is lap 180 when we restarted. I did come in for 4 tires and a splash of fuel. A lot of other people came in. I restarted 9th. Let me count real quick where I am. 1, 2. Now I'm already up to 7th just from being in the bottom. If someone gets turned in the background, we're going to go on board the 32. He just comes down and just dumps the 27. There's no other way to put it. I mean, nothing the 27 could have done there. And then they're going to... Oh, and then they wreck flying by the 27. See the one checking up for the wreck and just gets into the 10. And then the 10 gets hooked by someone else. Just unfortunate, you know. Lap 184. 15 to go now. We're going to restart 7th. It is coming down to the wire. We get back underway. Another small editing mistake there. Sun is starting to set. Track is getting colder. Temperatures may be dropping, but the tempers of the drivers, they're starting to flare. Everyone's feeling anxious. Aggressive blocks are really starting to happen, and people are not taking kind to them. So we are now 4th in line. So if it becomes single file again, we'll be P4 in the race. A great position to be. So we'll get a different flyby angle here. Just 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through the pack. Then we're going to jump to 189 where a crash is going to occur. The 26 is just going to get a little bit loose, maybe get a little bit of a push, and it's just a big accident behind. Quite a few people involved. Someone comes shooting up the racetrack. I believe it's the 36. And he darts back up to avoid getting that penalty, and straight into the 20. So I made yet another editing mistake. I accidentally deleted a crash that occurred on lap 193. It did not involve myself. It was quite a small crash. If I remember correctly, it was just a 3 or 4 car pileup, and we would go back green on lap 197. You didn't miss much. I restarted 4th on lap 193, and I just gained 1 position to restart 3rd on lap 197. So we'll cut to that right now. So here we are, 4 laps to go. It is coming down to the wire. This is wreck or be wrecked territory. You do not lift at all. So I give a small bump to the guy in front of me, and that's his indication to go. And he gets away well, but he might have gotten away too well. He's quite a bit out in front of me as the sun is setting on Daytona. And here the 32, 30, and myself, we link up to the guy in front. I think that's the 15. Kind of hard to read his number. And the 21 is going to come up as well and link up. So we're going to have a 4-car, just not breakaway, but we are just going to tandem. You see, I'm still on his bumper through the corner. Just letting the right side of my car get a little bit of clean air. That's where the oil intake is. As someone's going to peel off into pit road, probably to serve a penalty. We're now on 3 to go. So less than 10 miles left in this race. See, it looks like I'm shaping up to make a move, and I really wasn't. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't overheat my oil here, that I kept it within a good gauge. As here we go, there's a 4-car tandem, and it's going to become 5 temporarily, and you can see the bobble that we have because of that. Whoa. I think the 18 there, a little loose from, I believe that's the 34 pushing him. That could have been a huge wreck there. Luckily, he saves it. Doesn't come down and hit us, which would have put us head first into the catch fence. No, sorry, he's being pushed by the 33. who we've seen is very aggressive on his pushes, and it looks like he's still being aggressive. Coming onto the back straight now. This is 2 to go, so we're heading to the white flag. And at this point, I am praying that a crash does not happen here. I want this thing to go to the white flag. I'm in a good position to win this race. It looks like the outside lane is somewhat dissolving, and this bottom lane might be the one to win the race. And as the second car in position, this gives me a great opportunity. So we're heading to the white flag, a great opportunity. At the last second to come up, we're going to go on board here, and you're going to get the blimp view as well. The second lane comes out of nowhere. I think someone jumps up. The 32 does jump up from the inside to the outside, and I am just on the 19's ass here. I am pushing him, and at this point, I realize I'm not going to win this race unless there's a huge crash and I get ahead. So I'm just trying to push this bottom victory. As they're going to stack up a little bit. This is going to cause me to have a slight bobble, and I almost turned the 4 car, almost causing the big one. But we're coming up to the white flag. Ballet's going to throw a block, and he's going to crash. We're going to get through it, maybe. And we get turned hard into the outside wall. And the chances of getting second in the Daytona 500 disappear. Cut back on board, slam it to the outside wall, and spin across the finish. This is a slowed down look at the race, and I mean, so many cars on the grass. We're riding on board the 34, and he net codes into us, and that's what turns us into the wall. We're looking at the 25, who's well beyond, well behind the start of it, and he just keeps his foot in it. And he comes across, finish ahead of us. So we ended up 8th place. With only a 4X, here are the results. Now, I mean, a lot of takeaway from this race. For being the 35 car, for starting, 18th, as you can see, we were split 7. Gained a lot of safety rating, 61 I rating. I will take that, 3.1K. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.